What is going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. I hope everybody is enjoying Season of the Witch as much as I am. It feels like a very good Destiny experience right now with the two seasonal activities in Sabbath to Inspire, as well as that Altar of Summonings. Very cool that we can just stay in there and get loot continuously, as well as all the new exotics for each class, which we are going to be talking about one of those today in our hunter with the Mothkeeper's wraps. These let us have double grenades, and it turns our grenades into those Lucent Moths, which damage enemies, as well as a void one that attracts to your nearby allies or you and heals you, giving you a void overshield. So it is very good and very fun to have this on healing and damage, in my personal opinion. And there's some pretty cheeky little things, combinations that we have with it, pairing with the exotic Ex Diris, that new exotic grenade launcher that also harnesses Lucent Moths. So we're gonna go over everything in this build. The gameplay, you can see healing explosions everywhere, so we will get right into it. So starting us off with our abilities, we got that Gathering Storm, which is good for DPS and jolting targets, good against those overloads. Now for me, I'm using Gambler's Dodge with Triple Jump and Combination Blow. Having Combination Blow with Gambler's Dodge allows for a nice feedback loop of being able to dodge to get our melee, melee to get our dodge back, which we use to actually feed the grenade energy via some of the mods on our armor, which we will go over in a second. But for the grenades, doesn't really matter which one you pick. It all is through the exotic arms, turning our grenades into those Lucent Moths, like I said, and it does give us an extra grenade charge, so that is very nice with this build. So we're throwing them around all over the place and getting those Lucent Moths from the exotic grenade launcher as well. So the combination is my favorite, since Necrotic grips and Osteo Striga on our Warlock. For our first aspect, we got Flow State. Defeating jolted targets makes us amplify. Being amplifies, our dodge recharges more quickly, and we are more resilient when we dodge. Reload is also increased, so amplification, super nice for this build, and it pairs with the exotic grenade launcher as well. Second, we have a Lethal Current. After dodging, our next melee has increased range, jolts targets, and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging a jolted target with a melee attack also blinds them. So with this build, our grenades are going to be able to blind enemies with those moths, and because we have Spark of Shock down here that jolts them, our grenade is going to be able to blind and jolt targets, as well as our melee. So we're going to be able to stun, overload, and barrier champions with this build super easily with just our melee and our grenades. So we don't really have to worry about weapons for those, in my opinion, because we're getting them with our abilities, and the ability spam of this build is super nice. So that's why the pairing of the exotic grenade launcher is so good, because it is an ad clear menace and pairs perfectly with this build. Now on top of Spark of Shock, we're going to have Spark of Resistance, so we have that nice increased resistant to incoming damage. Spark of Feedback, so we can deal a little more damage with our Combination Blow, and Spark of Amplitude, so we can create even more orbs of power when we rapidly defeat targets when we're amplified, and we're becoming amplified super easy with this build just in general for arc, and our exotic weapon also makes us amplified, as you'll see in a second here. So first off, for our weapons, I have a couple different options. This season, we have the perk on our artifact, which we will go over as well, that allows us to have the dual strand as well as arc, void, or solar siphons. So for this build, using strand and arc. Round robin, Rufus's Fury, both very good weapons, totally up to you. I was really liking the harmony subsistence of this weapon, especially pairing it with our Ex Diris right here. That gives us those loyal moths that track out and seek enemies, and when we're amplified and become enraged with this weapon, it shoots faster, and the weapon also makes us amplified, like I I said. So not just our abilities are going to be able to do that, but these Lucent Moths are also going to be able to blind enemies. So we have that going on for us, which is one of the most powerful things inside of the PvE realm, because the enemies don't attack and it does last for a good long while. Then for our heavy down here, I got Circular Logic for an option, as well as Carax's Distress, both very, very good in my opinion. Something that does like Demolitionist on both of these weapons might help a little bit to get our grenades back very fast, but you can see in the gameplay at the beginning and in a second here that we're getting them back very quickly anyways because of the mods on our armor. Now, moving on to our artifact mods right here. For me, I was using Anti-Barrier Auto and Overload Hand Cannon for that round robin and Rufus's Fury. Right here is that Arc Strand combo for the Siphon, so we're producing Orbs of Power with all of our weapons. Scavenger mod, we're going to have that down here, all discounted, allowing us to pick up more ammo for that grenade launcher a little bit cheaper. Because we are using Nano Tracer rockets on the hand cannon in round robin, I chose to use specialization perks right here. We're going to be able to create those arc elemental orbs as well that jolt targets when we throw them, as well as having strand weapons have the potential to create tangles. So we're creating tangles as well as arc orbs with this build with just our weapons. On top of that, we're going to have the communal pickups, so if somebody else destroys those tangles or orbs, we're going to have a reduced cooldown, and we gain bonus damage of the weapon that matches that. So our tangles and arc, if somebody else picks them up, destroys them, we're going to get bonus weapon damage on all of our weapons. The strand for if the tangles, and then for our exotic grenade launcher if the arc ones are destroyed, as well as refreshing pickups. So we're going to get our abilities back faster when we do use the tangle or elemental orbs. Now I am waiting to get this one as well, elemental munitions, so destroying those with the final blows, we're going to be able to have special or heavy drop, and then monochromatic Meister, dealing elemental ability damage, increases weapon damage and elemental damage of the increasing same type. So it is super nice because our abilities get a little bit of juice, as well as our arc grenade launcher, so it makes it even better than it was before. Moving on to our armor right here, you can see my stats. I almost had the perfect zeros across the board, but we didn't quite get there. So, to go over our armor pieces and mods, we got the special ammo finder and scout. So everybody, you and your fellow guardians, are finding those golden, nice green bricks around everywhere to fill your special ammo, as well as that arc strand siphon combo. So all of our weapons are going to help us to create orbs of power. Now, the new exotics with our little friend on our shoulder right here, Winged Eclipse, and the Mothkeeper's Wraps. Your grenade becomes a cage of loyal moths that release on impact. Fly towards the nearest target or ally. If they reach a target, they detonate and blind them. If they reach an ally, the moth grants a void overshield. So right there, perfect for throwing them at your allies if you want to heal them, almost like a healing grenade on solar, but you can use it to damage as well. And you get the double grenades, which it doesn't state it, but it allows that to be a thing on your subclasses. And the pairing with the exotic Ex Diris allows all of those defeats, instead of just to create the Lucent Moths, it'll also create a void one on those defeats. So it has that perfect pairing with this build. As for our mods, we got Fastball. You can throw on whatever you want. This is a personal opinion for me. This impact induction super important for that Gambler's Dodge combination blow, so we can just repeatedly melee enemies to get our grenades back, as well as grenade kickstarter, so when we throw it, when we have that armor charge, we get a nice little chunk back. Now on our chest piece, we got that harmonic reserve, so our grenade launcher has more ammo with double arc resistant, totally up to you and the activity. You can go with solar, void, stasis, whatever you're going into. On our boots, we got Recuperation and Absolution, so when we pick up those Orbs of Power, we're going to get all of our abilities back and a little bit of health with that Arc Scavenger, so when we pick up those little green bricks that we're creating because of Special Ammo Scout and Finder, we're going to get a nice bit of ammo for our exotic grenade launcher, and then also Reaper with double bomber right here, so when we dodge all those times consistently, we're going to get a nice chunk of grenade back as well, which pairs with that combination blow as well as Gambler's Dodge, you can see, and Reaper, so all of our weapons are going to create even more Orbs of Power as well as everything that we got going on with this build. So it is kind of insane how many moths are flying around, how much healing is going on. You can stay alive pretty easily with this build, especially with that 100 resilience, so it is super nice on this combination. Like I said, my favorite since the Osteo Striga Necrotic grips, having the ability for that grenade launcher to make you amplified with healing and dealing damage, blinding enemies, jolting them with our abilities. It is a champion's worst nightmare, and we're finally repaying the Hive for all those gnarly times we've had those Hive Boomer Knights take us out. We are replenishing that, and those Lucent Moths are finally on our side, healing us and attacking our enemies. What loyal little buggers. So thank you guys for watching. This build absolutely so much fun to use. Got a couple different versions of this probably coming out because these exotic arms are definitely versatile, but this exotic combination was too much to not make a video on it. So hopefully y'all like this build as much as I do. Very fun to use, and it's just a nice little change up from what we've had in the past. So thank you guys again for the support. Y'all have been killing it. Make sure join the Discord if you would like. Hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these builds, guides like that for this season and the upcoming raid, final shape, everything like that. So truly appreciate all y'all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.